Hey, this is George.
Hey, this is Fred.
This is Real Talk with George and Frazier. What's going on, brother?
Not much. The usual. Chilling, relaxing.
Yeah,
Another hot day.
yeah, man. I see it. I definitely see it. I'm chilling in
I
myself,
see,
man. I think
I
it's
see
about
you adopting the great beard thing going down the
no,
beef.
no, no, no,
You
no, no, no,
adopting
no.
it.
I'm not doing a beard,
Well,
brother. This is a little soul patch. You know what I'm saying? Just a little soul patch. That's all I got. And then after that, I'm gonna be cutting it this weekend because we got family pictures on Monday.
you know what?
So,
What's wrong with showing a little? Got the time.
oh no, I mean, I don't mind showing a little bit of gray, but I'm not. I'm not this. Nah, this is just until I get to where I'm going, and then that's it. Like I said, I'm shaving it. You know, because my baby sister's like, oh, I need professional pictures. So I'm just like, okay, you know what I mean? I can't.
Oh man, don't you love those pictures?
Oh yeah,
You gotta be best. You best Sunday best out.
yeah, man. My wife has gone to the mall like 3 times to buy outfits for these pictures for the family. So I just
3 times. They
three
do
times,
those 3 different poses, 3 different frames.
3 times. So I just threw my hands up. I was like, look, I'm simple, but what y'all decide is what y'all decide. Speaking of decisions, did you
Mm.
see the UFC this weekend?
No, I missed it. For this time, I missed it. Which way you talking? The intern title fight?
Yeah.
Man, I don't know. I could have went either way. My thing of that one is one was over exaggerating always. Overexcited, get in, want to throw punches and catch, go for a straight knockout punch. You know,
Well, man, look, I'm gonna put it like this. I stopped paying for UFC events and watching them years ago, man. It's not the fact that I don't enjoy mixed martial arts. It's the fact of the political hoopla that goes along with it. Like for instance, Francis Ngannou is the heavyweight champion, but the UFC always has a habit of making an interim champion when the heavyweight champion or the champion defending their belt doesn't completely comply with what the UFC wants. And I'm like, you can't leverage somebody and lock them down and handcuff them like that to do something that you may think that you want to do. The fight that everybody wanted to see was Francis Ngannou versus John Jones at heavyweight.
exactly.
UFC didn't want to make that fight because they didn't want to have to pay that money. And I look at John Jones and say, look, John Jones may have a lot of issues outside of the cage, but in the
Yeah,
cage, John Jones is one of the best pound for pound fighters we've seen in the sport.
exactly.
Technically and officially, he's been completely undefeated.
But
Okay.
you remember, he's still a champ. Regardless, but it just took us so it happened off. Like you say in the personal life, right? So technically, he is still the champ. Just
No,
the
I
game.
mean, I'm not going to say technically because it is what it is. He gave it up to do whatever it is he wanted to do. But all I'm
Which is
saying is,
crazy.
he is undefeated in my eyes for his whole MMA career. And
Yeah,
so, that's the fight that we want to see. Now, here's the thing. If y'all can make a Conor McGregor Dustin Poirier fight when Conor goes and
exactly.
asks for a fight, why can't y'all make that fight when Francis Ngannou and John Jones? All John Jones said was he's with it, but the money has to be right. You see what I
Exactly.
mean? Then you put this fight on, and you got a guy who has 9 professional fights. Yes, he does have some amateur fights. So he has professional experience of about 22 fights, right? But he's
Yeah,
fighting Francis Ngannou. Yes, they used to spar together, but sparring together and fighting for a title are two different things,
exactly.
right? And so now you have to make somebody an interim champ just to sit here and go ahead to appease the organization. I just feel bad. Oh, I see Will Owens in the chat. What's up, man? Nice to see you.
Oh yeah, how you going, brother?
So that being said, that's it. But
But that's true though. You right though. I mean, my thing is intern like a runner up. Like you won to the came to the prom and then get the crown, but they give you a souvenir to take home with you, just to have with you, just in case the other
it's
person show up.
it's noise. It's noise. That's the problem with those interim titles. It's noise. And it takes away from the championship title. Now I can understand if Francis Ngannou had tried to hijack the belt like some other fighters have done. Then you create an interim title until you deal with that. But he didn't do that. You know what I mean? So I just didn't deal with it. But let me ask you another question. I saw a clip on YouTube about the Olympics and the karate championship. Hi, Sonia. We see you. Did you get to see the clip? Did I send you that clip?
I got what's up, right?
Yeah. Did you see the clip I sent you on WhatsApp?
I thought glance up. I be glancing what's that like?
No, I got it. So let me tell you the story, right?
Okay.
This guy in the Olympics, they were fighting Kumite, right? Because I guess
Yeah.
that's a new event in the Olympics. He knocks the guy out, okay? But he just didn't knock the guy out maliciously. The guy leaned into the kick. He threw the lead leg turning kick, bang, hits him in the face, knocks him out clean, right?
Yeah.
He knocks him out, and the guy who threw the kick gets disqualified. So you
What?
actually have the guy who's laid out on the canvas. He gets the gold medal because the guy who knocked him out, threw a kick, and they be like, "Oh, I think he threw it too hard." No, he didn't. He threw a lead leg side turning kick. It hit him in the face while he was dipping into the kick.
Exactly.
Boom, right? And so the loser who's laying on the canvas gets the gold medal. No,
That's that's crazy.
I
Wait,
would never.
look at it this way though. You can always say if you blank out, never know what happens.
No,
Who
I
the
mean,
waking up? Hey buddy, you gold medal. Huh?
oh yeah, that's true. That's true. But it's comical because look, fighters get knocked out all the time, and fighters get dazed all the time. That's why it's called combat sports, whether it's intentional or non-intentional. You know, in ITF Taekwondo, you only get disqualified if you draw blood. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
He didn't draw blood. He just knocked him out, and all of a sudden he gets disqualified. I'm like, I'm never watching that sport again. And look, I'll be honest with you. I don't like point contact fighting anyway because point
Yeah.
contact fighting does not give you the realistic, the realism, excuse me, that you need for timing to defend yourself. You're always start, stop, start, stop, start, stop. You know, when they change it like Taekwondo, at least to where you go for 2 minute rounds and you can do this or do that, then it might be a little bit exciting. But to do
Yeah.
that point stuff, I'm done with it, man. I'm not
No,
gonna
no,
do it.
no. That's it with Muay Thai. The point system is really weird because it don't really get a point unless somebody show hurt or show that it impact them in some way where it changed direction or show that it actually took a hit. So
Right,
say for instance, somebody throw a kick and you slip, that person got a point
right,
because you got close to your face. And say we said if the guy ran into it, what people understand is what people knocked out is when you try to do too much and you run into the kick. You remember the law of science. Force means you banging a lot of force, plus he banging force. What do you think gonna happen? That'd be real about the picture. I mean, and then too, the referee gotta look at one thing. You're right there. You got to be that point man. You the first line of defense to see what's going on. Everybody else just sees after effect. So if Taylor the judge said, "Oh no," he's supposed to say, "No, whoa, no, no." He went into the kick. That he's gone. He's done. He's the winner. You know, he should be the one to say that. He
look,
should.
let me tell you something, man. There's a reason why in boxing they don't have point style fighting in boxing. Boxing is 90 seconds, 2 minutes. You go until the bell stops. That start, stop, start, stop, start, stop. You know the problem with that? The reason why a lot of karate fighters, when they get and they move into other things, the reason why they get hurt is because they always think that a ref is going to be there to stop the contact. Okay. The reason why you see a lot of karate fighters in that point system who um, who get hurt in real life defending themselves or fighting is because that point stop, point stop, point stop. They don't know how to run with it for 2 minutes, 90 minutes, I mean 90 seconds, whatever it is, continual sparring, to move, slip, jab, this, that, and the third. And don't get me wrong, point fighting has its place as far as for speed and dynamic. Bang, bang, to be
Yeah.
quick. But that's it. And a lot of times, everybody always thinks that it's always one shot. You don't know. There's a guy out there that can take your one shot. And I'm not
Mm.
saying that it's going to happen every time, but I guarantee you there's one guy that's going to take your one shot. And if
Oh
you don't
yeah.
have a two, three, or four behind that, you're done. You're done.
Exactly. You're absolutely right. 'Cause, I mean, how many fights have we seen where the guy threw one point, thought the guy was down, and the guy gets back up and come from behind? I remember I saw a couple of clips of a
Yeah.
comeback, but the guy knocked him down. He literally knocked him down. Came back, got overconfident, joking around, playing, and what happened? Tat 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 tat. Bat.
Yeah.
Now you down. Now you become the victim. You just could have instead of finishing the fight, you chose to joke around and play, which that happens a lot. Look at, I mean, Conor McGregor is good doing it. I mean, a lot of people do. Once they get on, they feel they won the card. They want to
Hmm.
show off. They start doing stuff that out of the ordinary instead of stick to your technique and win the fight. You celebrate after the fight,
Right.
not during the fight. I mean, anybody can knock somebody out during the fight. You know why? Now his pride hurt. So
I
now
agree.
he's fighting a pride fighter now. Now he's looking at, hey, I don't look bad. I gotta come back. I want to come back. Now he had nothing to lose anymore. So now he even more dangerous than when he first started the fight. You know, because he had a little moment, he got knocked down. So unless he knocks you out, he's not gonna win. So he always thinking, wait, I can't knock him out, but I'm gonna keep this fight up. I'm gonna give all my 120% now from now on out. And what you're lucky. You get lucky. Man,
Right.
how many times people get lucky with a lucky punch? That right hook is dangerous. The right hook, if you don't see it coming, guaranteed to knock you out. I don't care what any professional fighter will tell you. If you get caught that right
Man,
hook,
look.
that right
Or
hook
left
over the
hook. Don't. That's true. Or left hook. Or left hook. Because
left
a
hook,
lot
yeah,
of
exactly.
left-handed fighters, the way that they win their fights is the fact that they can't see that punch coming. And from that dominant
Exactly.
hand, okay, it's on the opposite side. Don't forget, it's not traditional, it's orthodox. That's why they call it orthodox.
Exactly.
You see? So, man, look, I definitely agree with
That's
that.
what, oh, he's running a little late, so he always text me one a little late. So he said you're almost home now. It's about 10 minutes. So he got confused time. He got confused time. So he's coming a little late. But we can talk about fight time, George. So George, just say somebody called you out of retirement. What would you say?
For what? For what?
They want
You look,
to business fight. They want to see what the George can get going on over there. Should have hooked them up.
well, first of all, I have to find out how much money they paying. That's the first thing. But the second thing is just to get an exhibition fight, just to say, because two things. One, I really don't have anything to prove anymore, and I've actually moved from sparring and sparring competitions to more self-defense based applications that I'm training, I'm teaching, and because I'm just like this. Gold medals are great, but gold medals aren't bulletproof. Gold medals aren't strangle proof. Gold medals aren't whatever it is. Okay. So it's good that you had that in your repertoire at a younger age, and nobody can take it from you. You see what I mean? But when it comes to life and death, you need a specific set of skills that aren't based on competition. And that's why I love Master Fatagato in Brooklyn,
Mm-hmm.
because when he took control of me, I was a competitor. When he got done with me, I was a fighter. You understand? And that's
Exactly.
how he didn't teach you to go win gold medals. He said, "No, I am teaching you so that you can go score your points and you can go defend yourself in the street. That's how I'm teaching you. And
Exactly.
once you understand that, it's easy." And the reason why I like that because he's from Brooklyn. So those people that went to his school and this, that, and the third, it wasn't about medals for them. It was about survival. You understand? It's survival. And so the techniques that they had to learn had to be applicable in the hard streets of Brooklyn, in the subway system, and this, that, or third.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So that's what I like about it. And once I understood that as a younger man, everything changed because now I was just like, now I understand. Now this. And there's a lot of guys out there that'll be like, oh yeah, I know I can defend myself, this, that, and the third. No, you can't. If you've never been in that type of conflict situation or you never
Nope.
know that you have those particular things in your tool belt, it will never, ever happen. I've seen so many people freeze with the deer in the headlight look. Like they're in just complete shock. And I'm just like, what is it? This is not shock. This is go time. Go, go, go. You know what I mean? Like it's just how do I say this? It's it's heartbreaking because that's where they break. You see
Yep.
a lot of guys who get in a fight and get beat up, and whether they were black belts in your school or this, that, and the third, they leave the art completely because they're like, I just wasted 4 years of my life, 5 years of my life, 10 years of my life, and I couldn't even handle myself in the street. And it wasn't the fact that you couldn't handle yourself in the street, it was the fact that you were learning a lot of things wrong. So now they'll leave this art and go into jujitsu and do this and that, blah, blah, blah. And I'm saying, look, I respect that, but here's the problem I have with it. The thing about jujitsu is the fact that it only a lot of times only teaches laying on the ground. And I'm like, if you in the street and he has his boy, you can't lay on the ground. You're gonna get
Exactly.
stomped. You see what I'm saying?
Exactly.
You can't do that. You have to be able to move. Man, look, there's a certain way that you cut through a crowd. There's a certain way that you defend yourself against one, two, or three people. There's a certain way that you put people down and re-engage. There's a certain way of doing that. And if you've never been trained at that, you're just completely at a loss. And
Exactly.
like I tell my like I tell my son all the time, you know, there's things that I have to teach you, not just because I want to hurt you or I want to or any kind of way. I'm trying to give you something that you can use that would save your life in the event that you have to be able to do it. And a lot of this stuff, believe it or not, this stuff that I'm talking about, Frage, you can teach it, but you can't teach it like in a commercial
Exactly.
school setting because some of it is really violent and some of it is really
Hmm.
bad. And you could be liable for some kid, gouging some kid's eye out, and they go, "Well, what happened?" "Oh, I learned that from my martial arts instructor." You see what I
Exactly.
mean? So it's there's a lot of different things. There's a lot of different things, but in this particular society now, where everything is up, everything is out, in this Trumpism, where they feel like they can come and say whatever it is they want to say to you in your face, you need to have a skill set that you can depend on that can save you and that can save your family. That's all I'm saying.
That's you right. But I tell you, here's my funny thing. I tell you this way too. Here's what you learn also too. People always pick at size, but size sometimes your first line of defense because if a person comes to you by yourself one on one, first thing looking at can he beat me? That's the first thing he's even looking at himself. He's kind of big. I don't know. I might get some help. So sometimes you look avoid a fight by just the way you look. About me personally, I never smile. If I'm in public, I never smile in public. So you never see a weakness, so you don't know how to figure me out, what I'm thinking. You can't tell nothing. All you know is me, you gotta do this. Looking at what I did. So then
This
now once
phrase.
you apply that, now you got problems. See, now you got problems. And see, I tell you,
I'm
you right. You learn two different types of fighting styles. I learned two different fighting styles. One is my street style. Two, it's conventional. That's the one you learn in the classroom. You learn the technique. 1, 2, 3, 4. That don't work. Like you say, it just don't work outside. Now, what you can do, you can apply some of that you learned and add that to your repertoire outside. That can also help you sometimes too, because if you find somebody inexperienced, they don't know conventional. Now, if you mix it, you got a fighting style they can't compete, and sometimes can save you with multiple fighters. See, me, I already learned to fight more than one person because they never fight one on one. They would never fight one on one. So I would never fight a person one on one for what? Because it's never gonna happen. So me telling me 3, 4 people, that's average. Ooh, now we gotta fight. One on one? No, don't do it. Don't do it, dog. Just do me a favor. I'm gonna talk you down. I'm gonna just go home to your family and kiss your wife. Because it's not gonna happen. But some people seem to think that you bring a weapon to a fight is better than throwing hands. Like nowadays, nobody fight with hands anymore. So you bet to fight with hands, it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. They're going bats, they banging knives, and if they can't beat you, they're pulling out a gun because they're going to coward mentality now.
Yeah,
Don't worry about two.
yeah,
They coward mentality. There's no honor in fighting anymore. So Joe, you right. You can teach them how to fight a certain way, but guess what? You got to teach them how to fight the cowards. Those ones you worry about. Those are the ones that's gonna run, grab a gun or grab a knife or something. Who's not gonna fight with his hands? I mean, they ain't gonna fight with more than one person. So you gotta watch him, and watch what's in the hand at the same time. So you're watching multiple things at one time. You
right.
know, that's why when I teach my kids how to play when they're playing football, put 2, 3, 4, watch all your surroundings. I'm teaching them how to fight in so many ways that they know. If a guy comes this way, oh, guy comes this way, oh, guy comes this way, oh, guy comes this way, oh. You know what certain spots you need to work at. That personal space is very important. Anything coming in that personal space, you take care of it. You want to talk
Yeah,
about it?
the thing about situational awareness, and I definitely agree with you, not to cut you off, is you're right. People don't fight fair. I remember there were kids that used to ask me, how do I defend myself against a guy? He took my cell phone, or, I just got mugged, this, that, and the third, or he had a box cutter, and what I want people to understand is not really a rant about what I can or can't do. It's the ability for you to understand that you have to go home safe to your family. There are people that are depending on you. So I tell my students all the time, even though I know what to do, even though I know how to defend myself, even though I know how to take a few people apart, the reason why I don't is because I don't have anything to prove. You know, my job is to be a father and a husband. My job is to make it home every day I go out. That's my job. You understand? My job is not to have an ego or be in the street poking my chest out. Oh, I knocked him out. Why?
Exactly.
Because I tell you this, everybody who got a big mouth, they got a small heart. What does that mean? Those are the people that will sit there and they'll sue you when it's all said and done.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I hurt my back. Oh, I can't go to work. Oh, I'm suing them because this, that, and the third, blah, blah, blah. All that big mouth that they have, they don't take those behind whooping like men. Okay. They sit there. Next thing you know, you sitting there fighting for your life legally over a fight that he started because you won. And is it worth it? No. Because I tell my students all the time, it's very easy to say sorry. It's the hardest thing to do, especially when you're right, but it's the easiest thing to do. Just say sorry and walk away. I said the only
Yeah.
time that you have to engage is when they don't let you walk away. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Because I'll never
And
forget, man, my tactical training instructor told me this and it stuck to me like glue. He was like, they will make a yellow belt look like a ninja in court.
yeah.
Okay. And if you don't know what you're doing and if you don't know how to present yourself in court, you're in trouble because the judge will always ask the question, why didn't you walk away? You see what I mean?
Exactly.
So it's not worth it. It's not
I'm
worth it.
telling you too. That's why I learned one of the rules, Lord of the thumb. Never carry a weapon. Okay, if you carry a weapon, now they say, well, how you know you use the weapon? How you know? Because if a guy get too bruised up or too banged up, they don't believe these can do it. They be worried about it. If you caught with hit fatal, no, what you hit him with? They will never believe that you hit him and you actually caused true blood. That's one thing. Second of is, if it's more than one individual, that's considered now a gang. That's not considered individual fighting anymore. So now you have the right to defend yourself against a gang of people. And we in court, you say, what happened? I was attacked by a gang of people, feared for my life, and had to defend myself because there was no way to walk away. So it
Yes.
was my last resort was to defend myself. Done deal. I mean, any judge
Yeah,
see
but
that.
you live in Florida. Let me tell you what happens in New Jersey. So that will happen, right? No, honestly, that will happen, right? And in Florida, you have this new law called stand your ground. So you have the right to do all that stuff, right? In New Jersey, that could happen. But in the event somebody dies in that tussle, I'm still going to go to jail. You see what I mean? Because
Yeah.
basically a fight happened. Yeah, basically because a fight happened. And in that fight, even though I was attacked by two or three people, something happened in that fight to the point that that person died. And so I have self defense laws, but I don't have self defense laws against manslaughter. So I have to technically, that's the law. Unless you get a daggone good lawyer to the point where it's like almost imminent threat, his life or my life, then maybe not. But if it's just a fight and God forbid I hit him, boom, his head falls and hit back,
Yeah.
he cracks his skull backwards, and it's over, yeah, I'm going to jail.
Is that yeah? That's crazy. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, I'm
Jersey's
going to
different.
jail.
Yeah,
Going to
but
jail.
even here too, they changed it over years. They changed it so now if two individuals fight, both go to jail. There's no more. So I still would go to jail. You still going to jail now, but when you did there in court, we decide whether the charges stick or would you be released. So I mean that's how it works here. I mean they changed over years. Used to be if the person started or feel like he feared for his life or something, self defense, they will let you go. That's not the case anymore. Now it will take everybody to jail. And so they say, sort it out when we get downtown. And
Yeah,
they say, we're
yeah.
gonna find who did it downtown. So you go to jail, you go to jail, oh you go to jail. And then if one of you if three of them got weapons, technically they already lost. If they search you got no weapons, and they say, first of all, who are you with? First they identify who are you with? I'm by myself. So it's four of them, cool, no problem. Search them. Two of them had guns out of three. So whatever story you put them on now, they probably create themselves. So now it's on you to basically state, look, this is what happened, blah, 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 and them to believe your story. Because sometimes if they had proof that they had weapons and you had no choice, they also take on their judgment and will say it's self-defense, you know? But
That's
then,
why I tell people all the time, man, turn the camera on. Turn your camera on. Because if you don't have video, you have audio. And as long as you're dictating what's happening in audio, if you don't have good video, it can mirror what to happen. Just listen to the tape. Does
exactly.
it sound like this, that, and the third? Boom, boom, boom. Okay, this is when the tussle happened. This is this, that, and the third. Boom, boom, boom. But it's different than you just having nothing, no video, no audio to defend yourself, and all you taking is just paper statements. Nah, that
Yeah,
doesn't work.
exactly.
That doesn't work. So
You're right. Because I look at it this way, like I look at tape. For some reason, I've been watching these crazy tapes all of a sudden where it doesn't matter anymore if you're calm or irate because they treat you the same way.
yeah,
You know?
remember? Okay, so
So,
go back to that video link you sent me about the guy shooting, and he was on his porch. What
yeah.
I tell you, he was an idiot. Why was he an idiot? Because he had the police. He had them dead to rights. He was
Mhm.
home on his porch. Okay. He didn't have to turn around and engage the police officers. And secondly, when his wife told him to go in the house and he's sitting there screaming, y'all effing with the wrong one, this, that, and the third, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
All he had to do was turn around and go in the house, pick up the phone, call the police, and say, hey, my name is so and so. I'm being harassed by two police officers. They are here at my front door. I need your supervisor to come out. That's it. And close the door. That's it. That's all he had to do. He had him on tape. The moment you're sitting there screaming at a police officer to get off your property. Technically, once you started screaming, the police have a right to be on your property because now it moves from a simple conversation to it could be a domestic noise charge. It could be
Exactly.
anything else that they want to put on their report that would engage you. They could even say, oh, he was acting in an erratic manner. So we had to calm the situation down. Okay. The
Exactly.
man's wife came outside. So she was trying to calm him down. And then the moment he stepped off the porch and pulled that gun, he took two because he was in the crossfire. He took two. That's why he fell, shot this way, shot that way. And everybody, the thing that got me about that clip phrase, everybody was like, yo, he shot back. But did he live or did he die? I know he was thick to
Exactly.
take. I know he was thick to take a couple,
Yeah.
but did he live or did he die? And secondly, because he shot back, he's going to jail for attempted murder on two police officers.
Exactly.
Everything that happened in that video that we saw on that camera
Doesn't
now is
mean
complete. That's right, complete, null and void. Nothing happened because the same thing I'm telling you is the same thing the judge is going to tell him. The moment he stepped off his porch in a dangerous fashion with a gun drawn,
yeah.
it was over. It was a wrap. He didn't have any case for anything else. Look, he had him, man. They lied. They lied when they said, um, oh, let me talk to you about your driving. Talk to me about my
Exactly.
driving. Talk to me about my driving. First of all, if I was driving erratically, you pull me over, right? You pull me
Yeah.
over with the lights on before I get to my house. You don't wait till I get to my house. I'm turning around. There's no lights on. You don't have any police lights on whatsoever. And then all of a sudden, as we're having a conversation, you say you want to talk to me about my driving. I just got off work. I'm home. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay. All you do is just say, look, you want to talk to me about my driving? Any laws that I have violated, you feel that I violated, you know my address. Please just send me the ticket and we'll talk about it in court. He's
Exactly.
on the agreement. Okay. Secondly, when his partner now starts walking on his lawn, you don't scream at her. You just say, look, he said it 3 times, get off my property. Like she has a right to be there at this particular point now. So just turn around. Lastly, when his wife came and said, come in the house, he
He
should have
said,
gone
listen.
in the house.
He
And
said,
I just, for the life of me, I can't understand it because no matter how mad you are, you're dealing with the police and you're in their crosshairs. They have you cut off. That's why police officers don't come to you. If you ever watch police officers when they move, they're trained this way. They don't come to you head on. They
no.
always are in 1, 2, 3 section or somebody standing behind you. They always
Exactly.
have you in a box. So they're never going to engage you in a way where it's going to be beneficial for you if you have situational awareness.
Exactly. That's true. That is true. I tell people like that's why you notice that works with somebody who is experienced. That's why they always ask you, have you have any military experience? Have you ever had any martial arts experience? Because they know that technique will not work with them. They have to do it only on people who do not know what you just said. Sex still, how they stand out, where they're standing at, what can you do? Because some people do this. He's at 3 o'clock, he at 4 o'clock, he at this clock. But so I know I can't. Let me see if I can talk myself out of it. Some guy would try to talk himself out of it. But then here's the funny thing about it. If you have one person that is not complying with the officer says, oh, he's already raped. So 3 officers are cool. One's irate. That one officer irate, the one doing the talking. The other one's going to sit back and relax. They don't want to get involved in that. So now, trying to escalate the situation get worse. You see what happened? It was the woman. When she kept going back and forth with them, the other cop was trying to rash to get in there. You see what I'm saying? But guess what? He focused all on her now. Because she's giving him what he wants back, that feedback come back.
Yes, I understand that. But there's a problem that I still have with that, okay? When he started screaming at the lady, she didn't look. The thing that bothered me was the fact that, okay, I came home from work and I'm tired, right? Hey, Mr. Walker, we see you. Let me just finish thought real quick. Take your drink.
Yeah, enjoy yourself a little bit,
brother. How you doing? I just got to finish this thought, man. So when he, you're on mute.
No worries.
You're right. So when she tried to engage her, all he had to do, man, was just walk in the house. He said it 2 times, get off my property. She didn't get off the property. She's a law enforcement officer. All he had to do was turn around. Here's the part about the whole thing that bothers me. He had just gotten home from work, and he said he had gotten home from work. So he was tired and agitated about the whole situation, right?
Exactly.
Police officers but believe it or not, police officers have the right to do anything up to a certain point. What does that mean? You believe it or not, if I have some garbage on my front lawn outside, Frage, I can get a knock on the door for the police for that garbage.
Yeah.
Believe it or not. Now, they're not town enforcement. They're not code enforcement. They're not anything. But if they see a bag of garbage on my lot that's not in the pen properly, or if it's scattered on the lawn, they could be like, it looked like something domestic, quote unquote, was happening. And we can walk up in there and at least ask the question. Once that happened, brother, it's over, because now they can do anything. Oh, can we come in? They can look and see and just start looking for stuff in your house. You know what I mean? And then it's over. It's a wrap. And one thing that gets people killed, people don't understand, is you have to be able to comply with everything. Get out the car. You may not want to get out the car, but that was the order. They now can arrest you for non-compliance if they got to pull you out of the car.
Look, I'm a big guy. So you gotta look at one thing. I'm never, George, gonna get a one-on-one officer. Never. Not a million years. They look at my size. He automatically go in coward mode. Hello, I need backup. Right. He said, boo wrong. I need 30 cops. And he emptied the whole station. It's like 30 of them. Why? How big is he? Oh, he about 6'4", 350 pounds. I'm 5'10". Maybe about 325.
I'm 5'10".
He got big as time. Real scary. They be like, oh, that big. They got 30 cops coming to this. And they all did this. Yeah, we got somebody big. You know what I mean? It gets from worse to worse. It never get better. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, the thing is, you also got to be able to talk. When you're talking to police officers, never raise your voice.
George,
it's always yes, sir, and no, sir.
It's easy to say that, George.
That
one officer is one already. That one guy, Officer George. There's always this one guy that got to prove something. He got to prove something.
No. I understand that, but here's the second piece to that caveat. The second thing is you have to use language that they understand.
There you go.
So what happens when an officer is getting irate? You just ask the other officer. I'm not sure what his problem is, but I've complied.
You comply. Exactly. He froze.
Which when you start using language like I've complied, when you start using language like he's in compliance with you, he's non-resistant, all these other things, people go, oh, wait, no, no, this guy's not stupid. He's smart. He's very smart. Either he's a lawyer. That's why a lot of times when you talk to them like that, the next question that they ask you is, oh, what do you do? That's the
Yeah, you're
next
right.
question that they ask you
You're
because they
right.
don't want to get themselves caught up in something where they'd be like, oh, no, he's actually the wrong one and I could lose. I could lose everything with this dude. You know what I mean? So it's definitely all good. But listen, Rashawn,
Yeah, they
welcome
get
to
over
the
what?
show.
Interview. Your
Welcome
boy,
to
he's
the
ready to
show,
go.
brother.
He
Yeah,
pumped up, ready
look,
to go.
I had a moment. I said I got the timing confused, but I had to go for a walk, man. Um, Before we start the show, I think it is only right that if we could just have a moment of silence. So, yesterday on what was that 22nd in Michigan, the young man down there got killed. Former student I worked with, uh, guy I still talk to, chopped it up with past information, just knowledge above amongst all things, and just spoke to him very recently. So that's why I was on the walk. That's why the timing of things got through off. So my apologies, definitely, but definitely was in a space about some things, and so just really wanted to pay homage to him and taking that moment real quick.
Well, we definitely have your condolences. Our condolences, brother, for your friend, man. You know, it's definitely not easy when that happens and a life is snatched. So,
Yeah, and just with that, it's the trade off of one on one, of you all having me here today. So more than anything, thank you for having me. But that's been the trade off of this work. I'm heading into my 11th year of CPS, so it's kind of like a pat on the back, but also like it's been a long time coming.
so
Doing this level of work of working with young people.
well, let's just continue it. Every time Fraser and I try to talk about your bios and things like that, we butcher it. So just tell the listeners and the fans, man, what you do and a little bit about
Um,
yourself.
So I can start off from the beginning. Like I said, 11 years in CPS, going into my 11th year. Started out at Kenwood High School, doing like climate control. So that it was kind of a made up title to try to help influence younger people in the building because people were starting to see that disconnect. The disconnect, which I think some schools are kind of trying to bridge those gaps, and you see different schools and different systems across the country now doing different things. But that's kind of like where my bridge point, my start began. But even going back to my high school days, I've always been a mentor. I've always been kind of like a big brother or a brother, just to the guys growing up, but just people in general throughout my life. So it's always been my thing. So kind of hearing that, and that opportunity was kind of like it was for me at the time, 21, not really knowing, kind of, but knowing I knew enough that things were not right in the system in regards to really helping people prepare themselves for this outside world. Just even speaking to the police matter, which you all were just not even knowing the basis of what you all speaking about, but just the fundamentals of young people not knowing how to really engage and handle themselves in conversations with adults of authority, whether it be police, uh, principal, teacher, however it may go. So I always called myself kind of like a teacher outside the classroom. I've never necessarily been a teacher in the classroom, teacher assistant. I've worked with probably every department. Like I said, being in Kenwood as a high school. But after six years in there, I struck my luck at being a dean at Ray Elementary School, which is over in the Hyde Park area. So my first taste of being a dean, running my own school, 800 kids. It was a lot. It was a lot, but it was a blast. Ray was every experience I think I needed to build up to where I am now. The experiences there, working with, I always tell people with how I deal and work with kids, I don't call them like children. I call them young people. And because
Mhm.
for me, you are a person who's just little but you're soaking it up. So whatever you're seeing, whatever you're getting, eventually it's you're going to be that adult. And so the
Mhm.
yes, kid gloves, yes, all the attentive as being an adult kid, but also hold that relationship, especially in the means of working with high school students who are very much advanced. And so I, even working with high school kids, I can't say my first step was like you can't play them to the left, like they don't know what's happening or they may not know how to articulate it. They may not have the correct words to pronounce or whatever the case may be, but they know. And lying and trying to, sway them or just trying to do things that aren't, that's not going to necessarily in the sense where they feel like they're getting played, they identify and they see it. This generation now is definitely more advanced.
Mhm.
The technology and the different things that they have in their hands on a daily just puts them in a different matrix of just overall knowledge, different space of knowledge. And so from Ray was a great experience because it also taught me as much as being in the system. Um, you can be and being one of the top people in the school, you still don't make a lot of the calls. You still are affected by a lot of the poor systems, I'll
Right.
say, that are in CPS, that are in certain schools, and a lot of people of our skin color, of our demographic, are affected heavily by it. And being a dean, I tell people one of the hardest parts for me is continuously putting write-ups in. So I'm continuously writing up a kid where the city isn't sending support or sending, the right, proper procedures in order to get this student some real help. Now, what I can speak to is we fast forward from Ray. I went back to Kenwood for a little bit because I saw the system and how Black children, in my opinion, weren't being supported with their write-ups. And so we're writing them up. We're giving these catalogs, and the school prisoner pipeline is a real thing, but we aren't adding, we're not doing any, we're not providing, what I'm saying, we're not on our end,
Yeah.
it's just the paperwork part. So 2 years of that, man, I just got tired of that, went to Kenwood, left from Kenwood and seeked for an opportunity to work with a nonprofit, which is called Gifted Talented Seven. They are still moving and functioning here in the city. I want to say this should be the sixth or fifth year. I came in on the fourth year. Was a great experience. Actually an alum from my high school, Kenwood, because I actually went to Kenwood High School. But an alum from my high school started a program, like I said, called Gifted Talented Seven. Around seven young men and himself, building and playing that father role for them. Those seven guys who they had their dads or didn't have their dads, or just that structure, just adding that extra piece. Because I tell people, and especially working with just being more broader and working with companies and CPS and teachers and just people on a higher level, I always communicate it's just that one piece sometimes that some students are missing, or that cornerstone, or and being that for those seven guys, for them transcended into a whole summer program. So every summer we would run camp. We got up to 60 boys in one summer. And the whole point of GT7 was to give and provide the boys something different. Every summer camp, or if you're in summer camp, and if you're not in summer camp, what you're doing is football, basketball, baseball. I won't say the basics, because I love these sports, but definitely in our world, it's kind of the basic norms. We don't know about fencing, yoga, meditation, culinary, and these are the things that we were bringing to our boys that are right off a low end. Coming from some spots, but also we have high parkers, and so where people think that can't mix and that can't work, it works all the time. It doesn't matter where everybody, it's about the mindset and helping these young men cultivate and narrate their situation, their stories differently. And so working with GT7 definitely put me in and on the road that I have now in the fourth year of my program, one-on-one, helping you navigate your space differently through meditation. Was a program that started with GT7. I will say that. Long story short, meditation person didn't show up for our course that day during summer camp, but I had been in the gym room with the boys for every session. And myself, I'm like, summer camp with 60 boys, and I was the assistant director of coordination. So I'm running every program, and
That's right.
I said, let me get in and meditate a little bit. And so from that component, learning and being in the sessions, and then we also had a licensed therapist named Dr. I forget the first name for whatever reason, just slipping me, but Ivy. Mr. Ivy is his last name. Ex NBA player, Boston Graduate College in psychology, and for me was getting my study, my teaching of meditation through his experience and being in GT7 and kind of going through the winds of really learning how to do it. But it started that day when they said, "Well, Mr. Walker, why don't you do it? You're in the classroom with us." And I guess, well, let's see. They say you always calm, even when we acting crazy, you always calm. And I always get that demeanor from whether I've been at Kenwood, I've worked at various other schools doing projects, just throughout like Hirsch High School. Every student I've worked with, they always say, "Man, you're just real cool, you're real chill," and my friends and family probably would comply to that as well. But from that day, we had 60 boys in the gym room, and I have a picture I can send to you guys, and I should have sent it earlier. Like everybody still really has fallen in line. I give very much kudos to our teacher before. I think I just caught them at the right time. That's how, because you're talking about trying to get them to relax their minds, relax their bodies in the midday. It's hard for a third and a fourth and sixth grade, you know. But to help them understand the teachings and practice and how it can help you navigate your space differently. And so from that point, I started to practice meditation, my own, and started to just build my program out. You talk about you talk about the real blank space for a person, not necessarily. I felt like at that point of working at Gifted Talents at 7, I was in a space of not necessarily living for someone else's dream, but definitely operating off of someone else's dream. I had my own visions and different things I saw coming together and how I wanted to do it and how, but it was a timing. It was also the space in my life at the time, and it was a difficult space. And it was right when Nipsey Hussle. I always tell people, whenever, God has my calling, I told, Nip, he owed me a hug because, in his, before the passing, was already a huge fan. But, when he passed, it was just like, for me, something in the head, like it said, if you got it, you got to go. And from that summer was the birth of 101. Where I created a 6-week curriculum program catered to a young man that I had at Ray Elementary School. He was going into 7th grade, already having some behavior issues. I was familiar with him before, but I had left him because I went back to Kenwood. And so the way we did it with mom and dad was we sat down together with those three, and then I sat down with him separately. And from those two conversations, we all came back together, and these were the things that we're going to see. I felt this what I needed to target on, what they felt like he needed to target on, and I built and based the curriculum around that. It was a hit. It was a success. We ran it out at Shoesmith Elementary School, and so it was like I said, 6-week. We do yoga and meditation at the lake. I incorporated some basketball because I understand that was something that also his drive and that he was also obtaining to do and wanting to do. But then I also got into his world, and I tell people the anime world, I'm learning it. But he put me on to some stuff, and Naruto's like his guy, and I'm like, okay, so this is how we doing this. Then you talk about Corona the next summer, where it really shifted things. And mom was kind of concerned about, are we still doing this? But schools are closed. Well, let me backtrack before I even get to the next summer, because even with the one-on-one program that we started with that summer, I do have a tracking where I keep up with my students throughout the school year. So even though at a different school, being a dean, I still keep once week because it's a family program. And the whole point I say in one-on-one is to keep it, and the intention is to keep it where I'm looking to add on as time progresses forward, but right now I'm not going to overload myself with 20 clients. You get what I'm saying? Like it's definitely intentional. The whole point is to really make sure that I'm able to get in there and service the client the way it needs to be. And I tell people in the school system, it's something I definitely always have spoken about in meetings with principals and different things. We're stretching people thin. And a lot of our students, just like about a lot of our people, our needs are very different. Things are very different. The climate is very different. Just for an example, going back into the schools as a CPS employee, I definitely feel like it was rushed. And because of, and I'll get to the new space that I'm at in regards to schooling. In some demographics, it's not, and it wasn't easy, and it's still not easy getting through this pandemic. Because if you are far south side or you far west side, your demographic of grocery stores and means to things are just not. It's not the same. But like I said, going back to the first summer, it was a hit. Parents loved it. Definitely saw different changes in his behavior. We met then again for the summer. I run a program July. We go into mid August. We met back up in October, January, March, and then May. And the cool part about it was that I was having him meet at Kenwood. Now, we both didn't know that he would end up at Kenwood. He's going into his freshman year of high school now. But he definitely sent a message just kind of like, it's so crazy, Mr. Walker, because we were meeting in here and I was seeing the hallways. And so he was like, I just feel so much more prepared. And I took from the whole, and for me, it's all intentional. Definitely all intentional. It's to put you in a space to take you to the Japanese garden and meditate. Take you to the lake and meditate. We'll practice some yoga. We paint your mind, which is another activity in my curriculum. So it really is, like I said, finding the different ways that you can tap in with, especially young men and young women. I tell people, don't forget about the young ladies, because they're both are spiraling.
Right.
And that's something I'm able to really see, and because my work is so ground level. And so from continuing to meet with that young man and continuing to see the things that you all have seen on Instagram, from the editing videos, the pitch, like all that's me, man. I'm out here full grinding, pushing my business, but more so for me, it's learning the business part, but understanding it's a message. So even like the shirts that I have here is called B. It's to be you. I always tell people I'm not really interested in the clothing line. It's more of the message in which I'm trying to push. That is the whole
Right.
point of meditation. It's the whole point of one-on-one. And so continuing just to build off of content. It went from Mario to getting Xavier, and then Jelani, I have a few college guys now as well. Jelani is a third year Kentucky State. I have I have two gentlemen at Morehouse College that are going into their senior year. So this is also due to the work that I've done at Kenwood, but the guys have just fallen into the program that I've built with one-on-one, because of when in college you're wanting to know how to navigate certain spaces. Even in high school, you're trying to figure out, how do I talk with this one teacher that's giving me this bad grade, but I also know that I got 6 other teachers that I learn how to deal with, and deal with my parents when I get home, and keep it's so many different spaces now. And
Well,
so the point of one-on-one is, like I said, the whole mantra, in a sense you could say, is to help you navigate your space differently. And so and I can let you guys hop in, because after year 2 we can take it, however you all want any questions or anything. But year 2 we go into the summer. I'm working with these young men meditating outside, but the difference is we have Corona now. And so now we're not able to, Shoe Smith is out of the picture. Mom was concerned if you guys going to do camp. The beauty part of being in Chicago and being a Hyde Park myself, we have so many different parks, and so created the 6-week program off of the 6 different parks that we have here in Hyde Park. And so each week we would pop somewhere different, meditate somewhere different, take in the space, understand the real natural beauty of simplicity, and what the simple things in life can be just enough. And especially in our demographic, that's not pushed to us. They want to push us everything from the big buildings to the big lights, without the true understanding that can drive some out of whack. It can drive some to not the best spaces. And so dealing and just being that conversation for people definitely has led me to understand more in sync of dealing with my clients, dealing with younger people, because I can say from being outside, I definitely feel like that's where the adult part of one-on-one kind of kicked in. So I had adults start asking, well, are you going to meditate, or do you have anything for adults? Because we would be outside, out at the lake, out in the park. And so you just randomly have people asking, like, well, do you do anything for adults? Do you do anything for adults? And that summer, year 2 was the spawn of the adult component, which I have now. So I don't, if you guys want to interject or hop in or anything, I know I went off.
oh no, I mean, look, we want to thank you because you gave us a lot of information, man. I learned a lot. I know Fraser learns a lot.
Yeah.
We have about 5 minutes left. I know you came in late. We're going to have you back because there's a few things I want to talk to you about the school system in place, especially getting ready to go back into school, and maybe what some parents can do to help lower their blood pressure when it comes to dealing with the schools.
Definitely.
But that being said, give us some tips when it comes to meditation. Because my problem with meditation is It's too long, man. Look,
So long.
I need
I
like
always said so, and the cool part about it is, and so I know understanding the time, right? Create your space. So even here behind me is a painting that I've done. I got the camera here. I can't even really get my camera to move the way I want it to, so we'll save it for the next time. But the biggest thing in meditating is creating the space and understanding that the time is not necessarily what's important. It is the space. You can meditate for 5 seconds, 5 minutes, 10 minutes. It's the build up. I tell people I've gotten myself now to the point where I meditate at least between 3 to 4 weeks, I mean, for 3 to 4 days throughout the week, at least 40 minutes. And that's been a practice like for 5 or 6 years, because even though my one is in its fourth year, I've been meditating for like 5 or 6 years. So I always tell people the cool part about manifesting and being true to your intentions and putting out the things that you really want in life, it will come. The manner and the time in which it comes is what you have to be prepared for. Take 5 seconds,
right.
take a deep breath, understand that 5 seconds is sending messages to the brain to calm and relax itself. Creating the space once again is, like I said, is a huge thing. You can start with your timer. You can create a music playlist with on your on your phone. That's what I've done. So I've been out, just a real brief. I've been out to Penn State in regards to building the college workshops. It's something that's been kind of growing. Looking to get out to some other colleges as well. But I've been out to Penn State a few times. And one thing that the students that they love in regards to what I've done with these guys, because I've even sent out care packages. And so care packages pretty much where I send you out a 15-minute demonstration on creating a space, making sure you have a yoga mat, if you can possibly have some oils, and have your playlist music catered. I'll send out a playlist of different songs that kind of re-imitate the session in which I put you through.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. See, I learned my meditation through Muay Thai, because part of Muay Thai is meditating and being one with your body to create a space to allow you to soak everything in. Mm-hmm. And I say, me, when I come with my health issues, that kind of helped me gain my confidence, gain my everything back that I lost when I think I can't do this anymore. I can't do that anymore.
Right.
Why I'm doing this. So it kind of helped me back into my space.
Right.
And I tell you, when I'm in my space, you learn, like you said, the space, you learn different things you didn't know about yourself. Because we never take our time to learn ourselves. We are what's everything. Relationships, jobs. For the first thing we taught to do is we get 12 years old, learn, work, go find a job.
Go find a job.
Or find a girlfriend so you can get this. So we always taught fast life. You wasn't taught to be simple. Take it easy.
That part. The simplicity part of life is definitely something that's definitely missed in our community more than anything. That's what the whole point of one-on-one is to get to those true basic things that bring you so much joy that we just are disconnected from. And a lot of them are aligned within yourself. Is just tapping in and being able to, really get to those points. So I definitely appreciate you all for the platform, and definitely look forward to being back on and adding some more tips. As the school year get ready to come, as it comes ready, coming around, we go back to work in like 2 weeks. The kids come back on the 30th. The climate is definitely interesting. Parents and people are definitely in a hostile state. I can definitely say that just from my conversation with parents and some teachers that I know. So I would love to be back and talk more and put my own spin on things.
Yeah. Absolutely. Let everybody know where they can find you on social media.
You can find me on 312 Never Walk. That is Instagram. I also have a YouTube page. We'll get into that later. Like I said, I got a little stuff going on. But 312 Never Walk is the Instagram. 1-on-1 RW. Well, I said R.W. Is the Instagram page. Main page for this though is the 1-on-1 page. If you're looking to see more videos, more content about just how to meditate, we have Meditation Mondays, which I'm dropping another video on there in a few moments. So definitely, you want to check it out. It's just showing different spaces. I was out in Arizona at Buddha Beach meditating, which this video will be about. I've meditated in the Redwood Forest. I've meditated in a few different beautiful places. And so that is where you can find a lot of that content and a lot of that good old information about just how to find a space to create. That's the biggest thing in meditation. It's not always going to happen right away. Just creating that space is a great start.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Well, listen, brother, we definitely appreciate you being on the show and taking the time out from your walk, man, to join us on this
Hello,
platform.
right?
Look,
You
I
know, we're definitely
appreciate it.
gonna have you again, man. And we salute you.
Well, definitely.
All
And welcome
right,
to the family,
definitely.
brother. That's my always speech. Welcome to the family,
Hey,
brother.
I appreciate it.
Family now.
I appreciate it. Appreciate
Peace,
you
praise,
guys.
my
Thank you
brother.
so
No
much.
doubt.
Have
You
a
will.
great one. All right.
Well, there we go. Another great show.
Great show. Came in late and hit a home run on us.
Yeah, man.
I love those. Come in, hit a home run, throwing information, throwing gems, throwing tips. I mean, it was so much in that. You didn't want to say nothing, but listen, like, okay, hold on.
That's why I just shut my mouth because I was just like, oh, he's killing it. Now, there's nothing else that I need to say, you know.
Nope.
So definitely all good. But, yo, check out this and other shows that we have. We're going to be doing some shorts and a few other things. So check us out back on Facebook and a few other platforms that we'll be on. Check out our YouTube channel as well, too.
Well, definitely.
Hey, this is George.
Hey, this is Fraser.
And that was Real Talk with George and Fraser. Peace.
Peace.